In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the string hooks on a Kahler whammy bar. I had a couple of them that were cracked and broken, and I replaced them, and this video will hopefully show you how to do that on your own if you'd like to. Here are my string hooks that I got from whammyparts.com. They have whammy bar parts of all different kinds, especially Kahler parts. And what happened to my Kahler is that I drop tuned and put some really heavy strings on it. It broke the string hook. It cracked it. So they are old on my whammy. You know, it's what, 30 years old or something. So they lasted a long time. But they do sell brass ones too. So I just went with the original ones, but at some point maybe I'll do the brass ones, especially if I drop tune. Yeah, man, look up whammyparts.com. I got these a set of these pin taps from Grace USA. They are from Williamsburg, Michigan. www.graceusatools.com 231-264-8133. So they're really good, USA made pin tap. Okay, so you can see I have my pin tap through, and I've pushed out the pin, and a couple of the string hooks have already come out just because of the pin being pushed through. But so I'm going to replace all of these because I think that one's tweaked too. That the D string is also a little tweaked. They were monster strings. So anyway, I might have to pull this pin out. I could use a pair of needle nose pliers if I can't, because you know my tap's pretty much dead in already. So anyhow, all right. So I'm going to do that. Oh, well, it pulled right out. And I'll take this guy out. There's all right, so I'm going to separate. All right, so now I have the string hooks. I'm going to try putting all of them in here. And I'm going to start from this side. There is the spring in the back here. And so I'm going to just kind of manipulate the string hook just a little bit, press down on it. It goes right in on that one. That one goes in. And then on the back also is this piece. So you have to get it aligned with the pin also. There it goes. All right. This, I need to put this back on the anvil. You can see the pin. I don't have it in quite enough right there, because when you start to adjust this, try to get it centered, it's going to touch that, and I don't need it rubbing on that. So I'm going to do that. All right, cool, good. All right, I got that pin in there better. You can see that was just not quite in enough. Now it's good. At least I think it's good. Let's see. I'm just trying to set that in the groove the right way. You can't really probably see in the video, sorry. I don't want to tighten down on the see on this cam. I obviously don't want to set this pin in the wrong spot on that cam. I want to set it right in that hole. So that's what I'm doing right now. There we go. Got that side. The cool thing about the Kahler, man, the Kahler, I mean, I have a Floyd Rose too on another guitar. I kind of told a story about my Washburn that actually this bar is on that Washburn. And, you know, the story is I had a Floyd Rose on it, but it did not sit well. They did a bad job on it. So I ended up with a Kahler. Well, used that Floyd on it even though it was not quite right for years, and I kind of liked it, and I liked the Floyd Rose on my other guitar. But I've really become a Kahler fan. Honestly, they have so many adjustments. And a lot of the things that people didn't like, there's a lot of different kinds of Kahlers. But this particular Kahler has a lot of adjustments on it. And one of the things that was a complaint in the early days with this style was that they were too springy. They felt too loose. Well, part of that's just a matter of adjusting your playing and getting used to it, right? But Kahler also makes heavy-duty springs. And you put those heavy-duty springs on there with this bar, and it's tight, man. It feels, it's not a Floyd Rose, but I mean it feels good, like normal, like it's close, right? If you switch from a Kahler to a Floyd Rose and you've got the heavy-duty springs and the heavy bar, it's cool. All right, so I'm going to do an adjustment. You can see maybe in the video on this end here. See, there's some play in there. And I want to center that. And this has adjustments for that too. So you can center those. You can center this piece. And then once you get it, it's kind of locked into place. Okay, so I'm going to work on that a little bit. So I had put these on, these beefy springs for the drop tuning, but I kind of liked them on there with standard tuning, so I'm gonna stick with these for right now. I do have another set of regular springs, but I think I'll stay with these. This probably helps, and I was gonna go to the extent of using like painter's tape to put all of my screws and everything in order the way that they came off of the Kahler, so that I wouldn't lose track of anything. So that might help if you've never done this before. So I'm not tweaking on those yet. So I can get my other screws in here. This is probably a pretty common thing that everybody knows, but in plumbing with black pipe, you usually put your threads together and you give them a turn backwards. You can hear it click in. If I can get it to set in the hole correctly. You can kind of hear them. You just have a slight little click, and then you can, that way your threads are lined up. I could show you better on this one. Oh well, you probably already know that. You could hear it set. Yeah, I just wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to put those on when I had the springs, you know, because I didn't want them resting against this piece and maybe bending them. But they seem okay. I probably could have put them back on. So I did have these laid out in order. It probably might not matter, but you know, sometimes it could. Over time, they get used to their threads. That might sound silly, but you know, if one gets tweaked just a little bit or something. All right, well, pretty much ready to set that back in to the guitar. There is one thing I want to do to the guitar. There's a shim in there underneath this because it got just like an 1/8 inch routed down and set down into the guitar, like an 1/8 inch too deep, and I had to have a shim put in there to adjust it. So I'm probably going to do that tomorrow. So I'll come back to this, do that tomorrow, let that set a little bit, and put this back in. Cool. I applied the 2-part epoxy to the back of the shim. That's been sitting in there for hours now. So time to install the Kahler.